2.5 weeks out from Ironman Hamburg. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone, you know who you are. These boys, Beth, Craig, my mum, and like I say, you know, because it goes a long way when, you know, your boys and all those other people, you know, chip in and they help out, you know, joining me on training runs and that sort of thing, and it's greatly appreciated. And you know what, as cliche as it sounds, one of the best parts of the journey is not only the process, but the people who are in your life and those around you. So I just want to say thanks to you boys and everyone, you know who you are. Beth especially for putting up with me and for everything that I'm doing at the moment as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to you boys for everything as well. Craig as well. Craig for all the swims as well. I know that you're not in the video at the moment, Craig, as well, but you know, I appreciate it as well. So, and yeah, you know who you are, and massively appreciate it.
Smash it, mate.
Appreciate you boys. So yeah, let's rock and roll. Yes, team, how are ya? 2.5 weeks out now from Ironman Hamburg. We're in our big final week of training. Last 4 weeks, yeah, they've been up there, training volume wise. Definitely at the point now where, if I'm being honest with you, you know what, I'm actually feeling pretty good. But some days in there where, yeah, I'm feeling the training, I'm feeling the output. But I can easily say that this is the fittest that I've ever been in my life. Hands down, head and shoulders above where I was last year for the 2 half Ironmans, the marathon in Manchester. This is the best that I've ever been at. Swimming, cycling, running, all the data, the sessions, they all say that the same. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this last build, this phase going into the Ironman. Follow everything through, follow the plan, and that'll, you know, hopefully, you know, give me that confidence going into it, knowing that, you know what, sport, there's a lot of things that can happen that are outside of your control, but what I can control, as I said before, is my preparation, my planning, my effort, and putting everything into it, my recovery. Just to give you a bit of a snapshot of what I've sort of been averaging at training wise, I've been averaging about 17 hours training a week over this last month. Last week, just to give you some numbers, we clocked in at just under 17.5 hours of training. I'm saying this to Ollie in the car driving over here, is that the 17.5 hours, unless you're doing it, it's hard to sort of put it into context really. But with the cycling, it's not just spinning your legs, time on the pedals, you know, there's some really, really hard workouts in there. And, you know, just being completely open and honest, because I think social media now at the moment, you know, you'll see a lot of things out there at the moment. Everyone's running a half marathon, everyone's running a marathon, doing an ultra and doing these, but ultimately these events, you know, they're tough, they, you know, demand a lot from your body, and my training is definitely demanded a lot from me. And you know what, I love that. That's not me complaining, that's exactly what I want, that's exactly, you know, what I've gone looking for, and it's exactly what I found so far. You know, you're not just spinning your legs for those hours, you're not just doing nice easy runs for those sessions. There's some real tough work, you know, that gets, you know, laid down in there. I think that just goes back to what I said before there, you know, that, you know, for me, yes, I want to be an Ironman, that is my goal, but I want to go out there and go, do you know what, I couldn't have done anything more. I've given it my absolute best. I've not tried to just say, oh, you know what, I've done that, I've completed it, which is amazing. I want to go out there and know that I've done my best and I've left nothing out there. I've given 100% effort, and I've, you know, taken my training really seriously, you know, which I feel like I have at the moment. And you know what will be, and that's, like I say, that's just sport. So I'm just going to control what I can. But in terms of last week and how it stacked up, just to give you a little bit of an insight. So we did 17 hours, 23 minutes of training overall. Breaking it down into the distances, we did 282 kilometers on the bike. We did 60 Ks worth of running, and we did just over 7K of swimming. Total duration there was 10 hours and a half on the bike. Running wise, 4 hours 40. And swimming wise in the pool, just under 2.5 hours. Yeah, it was a pretty big week that was. This week, has scaled up again. This is my biggest week, and we're going to come in at 18.5 hours. And I was saying to the boys this morning, I think I'm going to look back. Obviously, I've got Portugal in October, but I think, when you're in it and you're just on autopilot and you're just ticking off the sessions and you're just finding the time, where you can for it. And if I'm, being honest, there's a lot of late nights there, getting off the bike at, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, training for sometimes, half your days on a weekend. I'll probably look back and I'll think, how on earth did I manage to do that? And that's, the reality really, but I'm, really, really proud of, what I've sort of put into this so far. And honestly, I don't feel like I can be doing, any more unless I, I don't know, I sort of cut back on my work or anything like that, then, obviously, which I'd never do. Yeah, I feel like I've, done what I can. Training wise for the week coming up, 18.5 hours. Swimming wise, I think we're going to come in just under 8K of swimming for the week. I definitely felt a massive difference with regards to that swimming volume and the improvements in my speed and just my effort in there. I feel like I come out of the water and I feel pretty good at a faster pace than what I was swimming at from last year. Cycling wise, I think we're probably going to be, somewhere in the region of, between sort of probably 320 to 350K maybe for the week this week. And running wise, I think we've got 5 hours 24 on feet this week. So we're probably going to be pushing up to probably closer up to the high 60s, maybe 70K of running this week. And we've got a big weekend of training incoming. So we've got 6 hours on the bike this weekend, which was the same as last week, but we've also got a brick run off the back of it. So just 25 minutes, getting the legs used to running off there. The run this week is 2.5 hours, but that session, just as I'm clicking on it right now, it's going to be a 30-minute warm-up, and then we've got repeated 4 times, 5K efforts, hard with 1K floats in between. So that's going to be 20K of hard running that's built in there. This weekend just gone, very similar weekend of training, 6 hours on the bike on the weekend, and the long run, we averaged out, we came in there just under 31K at 4:36 a kilometre pace. That's the fastest I've ever run over that, and that's obviously with warm-ups, cool-downs and floats in between. So yeah, my running, has definitely come on quite a lot. So yeah, training wise, we're in a really good place at the moment. We've got 2.5 weeks now. I'll be going into taper on Monday. I don't know how my week is looking just yet at the moment, but yeah, we're nearly there now. So head down, keep doing the work. As I said before earlier, I start to get quite reflective right now about the journey and what's gone into it and all the people around me. The process is everything. Feeling yourself getting better, but the people around you who have enabled you to do this, the people around me, I'm massively appreciative of them, the support, the sacrifices that they make as well in order for me to do what I do. So yeah, we're nearly ready. 2.5 weeks out from Ironman Hamburg. Let's rock and roll.